podcast, episode 4, and this time I am with, on my left, Kwee, and on my right, Impress, the co-CEOs for the new organisation, Wind and Rain RivalS, or the new league. Say hello, Kwee and Impress. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Don't make it awkward whatsoever, that's fine. And once again,
that's so good.
I'm with the Corona, so as I pop this one open, we'll get started. So I'm just going to jump straight into it and kind of ask you both for a little bit of an intro on yourselves, if people don't know, although I presume they should do. And then after that, we'll jump into how this all started. So, Impressive, you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, as most of you know, I'm kind of the representative of Wind and Rain for this whole kind of thing, and currently working as a radio journalist in Germany. Will turn 22 years old in August, and yeah, I don't know, some of you guys will know me from Compete League, where I played under the Sea Dogs banner, and yeah, I don't know what else.
That's cool, man. That's cool. And Kwee, I suppose if there is anyone out there who doesn't know you, they've been living under a rock. But if you just want to give us a little bit of a,
yeah, this is my second time on your podcast, so I don't know if I introduced myself last time. But yeah, I'm Kwee. I'm younger than Impress. I'm only at the ripe young age of 19. I'm currently at university in Bath, and I don't represent any organisation except really RivalS. So that's that.
Well, that's what
represent me, man.
Independent, strong woman.
Yeah, that's me.
Only way to roll. That's kind of what this is about. Obviously, both the co-CEOs are here with me today, and with RivalS doing their first full stream only a couple of days ago to do the CL quarterfinals after that happened. What I really want to get to know you guys about and what to ask you guys about, because even despite the fact I've been working with you, I'm not 100% certain. What's the history? Where did this start? What happened to make RivalS say, let's get involved?
Right, so firstly, I think me and Coxie got together and we had an idea of running our own amateur league well over a year ago. We were just like, you know what, at some point we could probably do this whole amateur league thing. And then come November, we actually started talking with Wind and Rain about it. Some things sort of went through, and then Coxie sort of dipped at the time because he wasn't too sure in the thing. Plus, he was going to be very busy with studying. So myself and Impress ran War Con and War Battle Axes in the other order. So I went Battle Axes then War Con as tournaments, sort of feeling out process. And then after a disappointing split elsewhere, some people expressed a lot of interest in moving over, and then just sort of the ball started rolling from there.
Okay, so Impress, what were these Worldcon events really about? Were they anything to do with CL at all, or because I've not heard of them before since obviously RivalS has kicked off, and I'm getting spam pinged.
Well, good question. As Kwee just said, I don't know, many people were not happy, and he approached me and asked for help. And before, we want to run things differently. When you ask about how to do things compared to CL, because, well, let's say kicking a player while his series is running in the player is questionable at best, I guess. I don't know how to phrase it properly, but yeah.
Yeah, so obviously that all happened. You ran your events obviously while CL was still running on. Then, from what I know, you approached me. Obviously, I left CL, given all the drama that eventually ended up kicking off and ended up spreading to GP somehow. But you approached me before CL did end, so there was a very much rival organisation being created with RivalS compared to Compete League. Obviously, being the main brand of League of Legends after the amateur leagues. So what made you decide to... Now, some people, to play devil's advocate, could view this as a snake move, to say that you've been gifted this opportunity to be involved in the community. You've been gifted the opportunity to get yourself out there and be respected by the community. And now you're saying, well, cheers, whoever gave you the opportunity. I'm going to go fuck off now and beat you.
I think I've made it very clear that this wasn't as a spiteful move. The whole reasoning behind what I did was more to the fact because I wanted. It seemed like there was a general consensus that people wanted a league that was more focused on the competitive integrity and sort of efficiency of what was going, input and things like that. At the time, I had no idea. No, I didn't assume CL would end. I assumed it would keep going regardless. I didn't think that many teams would join us. It would just sort of be like a 50-50. It would be whatever. People would still keep in contact. But then that whole, as you mentioned, banning someone mid-series thing happened. So much stuff kicked off from that. And that sort of eventually led to riots that were too much for CL to bother with anymore. But no, I genuinely didn't make this planning to... I mean, the name's ironic that we called it RivalS, but this was decided we decided on that name like a long time ago between me and Cox. Yeah. We were like, how do we make a name that's cringy enough, but also like short enough and memorable? And we ended up with RivalS in that regard. But no, it wasn't meant to so much rival CL. I called it an alternative, and I still do. If CL was still around, it would just be an alternative. Because ultimately, I am grateful for what CL did, like in terms of community, in terms of what they did for me with casting, all that fun stuff. So it wasn't like an ill-blooded move. It was just a move where I felt like what I could provide could be useful for some people, what CL provide useful for others, in that regard, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have come out and said that they've wanted CL to incorporate some of their ideas, and they're either be too stubborn or too lazy to incorporate them, and ultimately made it a worse off product than it could have been, given the amount of volunteer work that people are willing to offer. So one thing I do have to touch on, so obviously you said you and Coxie made RivalS the name. Why the capital S?
I don't know. I was bored. Like, this is what people will probably notice this from me. When I'm bored and it's like 3 a.m. and something gets decided, I will just start doing stuff in photo. Like, I don't even own Photoshop. I actually own Paint.net. I would just start doing stuff in there, and I was like, I made this, Cox. He's like, oh, it looks alright. And then why is the S so big though? And I'm like, honestly, I'm not really quite sure. Yeah, probably fine. And then from then on, I just decided we'll stylize it, especially with the big S. Because, with Wind and Rain, they do the big W, big R, and then the small A. So I was like, consistency, right?
Can't argue with it.
All planned, though, yeah.
So, obviously, Impress, you're heavily involved with Wind and Rain, or WAR for short. At what point was the merge between this alternative platform linking with Wind and Rain? At what point did they merge? Or was that from the get-go?
Basically, when I came in, it was like to Wind and Rain, it was, let me guess, like October something. And one of my first moves, because I previously worked at Fnatic, as some of you know, and one of my first moves in Fnatic was like pushing the people to bring back Life of Legends. Because I think like community work is so important with the players. They like Reckless, Caps, Soas, or whatever, and them doing literally nothing on Twitter or YouTube is like just stupid.
Yeah,
because you can, but like it's basically a gift. You don't have to do anything, and you get like so many fans and over and constantly. And so I came into Wind and Rain, and I said, okay, I want to create a community from the get-go, from the scratch, which is really, really hard because like there's no foundation. There was literally nothing. And then Kwee said to me, okay, I wanna run an amateur league. And I was like, wow, that could help. So I presented it to my boss, and they said, "Okay, let's go. If you have the staff, you can do it."
Fair enough. I mean, that is one hell of a way to start it. I do think that's such a good point now. It's off the topic of Wind and Rain, but Life of Legends for Fnatic was one of the only things that I've seen in terms of EU content which was decent to watch. But then, for example, I never watched NA. Never ever watched NA. Just didn't interest me. Some of the casters just annoyed me. I hate the accent. But then, with the new franchising thing coming in, I was like, okay, Travis Gafford is just all over my newsfeed for some reason. Let's go watch some of his stuff. You get linked then to Nature. Never even watched Call of Duty. But then 100 Thieves in their YouTube channel should be just the standard for almost any team in esports, because shit name. I'm not a big fan of the jersey either. What they're doing with that.
The jersey is fine, but the name is really, really bad.
It is, but they got through Afromu. They got a couple of the old guys like Meteos, and then they just said, right, okay, boom, let's go make some awesome content. And with the help of having some ex-EU guys there with Prolly and Ryu, I was like, right, I'm hooked. This is my team now for NA, and ended up doing all right. But I just think that's such a good point. You don't see it in EU at all, do you? I mean,
and I legit don't understand it. Like, it's so easy to gain reach on social media with whatever you do, like even just creating a Discord. But I don't know, the players are so lazy; they just want to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame them for that, can you? To be fair, I suppose that's the advantage that 100 Thieves have got of having their own entity with Nature to be able to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
But you did touch on it before, and I want to get both of your guys' opinions, because obviously you're co-CEOs, ultimately, if it comes down to a decision, you're both kind of at equal steading, or whatever that word is, equal level, obviously in different departments, Kwee being more community and Impress being more organisation, or organise. Wind and Rain. So I want to know what your ideas are for the future. I'm winging this, Kwee, you know I have, but what compared to CL, where's Wind and Rain RivalS going in this different direction? What's the what was the point of creating it? How is it going to be different? Why should people be excited? What are we looking forward to with Wind and Rain RivalS?
Right. I think one of the first things is written on back-end sheets, like in bold. It's like, we are focusing on efficiency and competitive integrity. So what we're doing is we're making sure that, because we're not focusing on 2 regions, for a start, we're only EU based, and even more specifically, our trial split at the moment is only running a Gold Plat League, 2 of them. So the whole we're making sure we're more of a focus group, as it were. So what we're providing is quality over quantity. So if you're a member of our league, you can expect, we've already got a lot of content ideas coming out. Staffing is going well. Volunteers are putting in work. The community has already exploded just through word of mouth. I think it's something like 160 odd people in the Discord. And, that's just all people been like, hey, join this, hey, join this, hey, join this. So really what we're trying to push for is something that you can be proud to say you're a player of. And also something you're proud to be a community member of. So we're being, more strict in the Discord, making sure that the people who ultimately are just troublemakers, naughty people, we're sort of weeding them out. We're encouraging, banter, but we're not pushing for edginess where it's not required, pretty much. And and also when it comes to Wind and Rain RivalS, we're also hoping to provide a really nice quality stream. We've actually tested a few of our broadcasters to make sure that we're happy with the quality that goes out. We've got yourself and content guys all like going ham on ideas for what to go on stream, what can go off stream, YouTube channel wise. Just so much stuff is being flooded in idea-wise, and we're just sort of trying to spread it out and make sure everything gets sort of a chance at some point, but we're making sure that everything is, just really exciting to play in, and it keeps you occupied. There's stuff that interests you in stream on off times, just everything like that, pretty much.
Yeah, so in short, get rid of the bad stuff and add some good stuff. So with obviously your side of things coming in Impress, what can Wind and Rain give RivalS that CL won't have had access to? What's the whole point of having this, UK huge organisation attached to what is just an amateur league?
One word: professionalism, I guess.
Okay, that's done. That's the end of the podcast. Let's wrap up here, boys. Thank you very much. No, I'm joking.
Oh, it's just consistency in terms of ruling, in terms of how we're approaching things, content-wise, stream-wise, the whole process behind the scenes, how teams can apply, how players can apply for the league, and that's basically really professionalism and consistency. That's the two buzzwords we're going for, and also a place where, because the most important thing for the players, obviously everyone wants to try out, I hope, in the league, and everyone wants to win the league. But still, we're running a league for gold, platinum, so fun is also probably the biggest part in the daily to daily basis, whatever. So basically, consistency, professionalism, and fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see the advantages of having Wind and Rain having us and us having Wind and Rain, because we've spoken as an admin team about potential prize pooling coming in for season 9, which I'm presuming a large part of that is because of the fact that the organisation is attached to us, and then likewise, we've got the fact that we're able to be a kind of an advertising tool for them. So it's very much, beneficiary for both sides, which is nice to see. Well, I've just gone past my 4 points fucking quick as shit. History, future, association, and the difference between the two. So we've got a couple of things decided in terms of quadrants that we've got. So we've got the community side of things, we've got the casting side of things, and the content side of things. I don't think there's much we can talk about in terms of casting, except for the fact that if you can broadcast, please apply now. But I'm going to go more in depth now for the differences between, because a lot of the guys that we've got came from Compete League, and a lot of the reason for this is not only to introduce you to, but to inform, because a lot of them won't have read the rule set because they're too lazy and they can't be asked. So what is the difference in terms of community, in terms of the Discord, in terms of how people are reacting between CL and Wind and Rain? What is, just to inform, quick.
I don't know. Ask Sosa.
Holy shit. It's a good example. It's a good example. But just so people have got the understanding of, don't type here and don't come into Wind and Rain RivalS and say keep yourself safe, because it ain't going to end well for you.
I think I touched it kind of with the Discord where you've got the wonderful. I'm gonna try and pronounce his name properly in his own language. Eetu Pakasyafi, the great sad tree. Wow. He was one of the first people to come to us volunteering a hand to really make something that everyone could be proud of being a part of, including from a staff perspective. And I think he's been doing a stand-up job in his community head community admin role, and he's got the rules of Discord clearly laid out. He's been keeping a good eye on efficiency and how we're dealing with bad eggs and all that sort of thing. Our system seems to be working. It's encouraging the right behavior. It's definitely. We haven't had riots yet.
Yet.
Don't mention it. No.
So I can say we're doing a reasonable job if that's not happened. The admin team's been working well. We've been something we made sure when we came in, which was one of the big things we wanted to touch on, was transparency with the community. A lot of things stemmed from miscommunication or just the community being left out of what was ultimately going to affect them the most. So we're making sure, for example, we've already made announcements regarding the admin meetings and what affects them coming out of that, rulings on bans, all this sort of fun stuff. And, I think our systems in place are really encouraging a healthier atmosphere, which is good.
Yeah. Something that I'm really hoping we do kind of get to grips with and keep on rolling with is the player union meetings and then the admin meetings that follow. Because just the fact that we've only done one of each so far, for me personally, being part of the admin team, I found it so useful because we're able to get opinions on what the players want, so then we can speak as admin teams about how we execute it, so then we can just double check with the players team and say, yeah, this is exactly what you want, and we can do it, and this is the perfect content for you to be able to have a good time, and as you said, keep it competitively integral, if that's the correct way to word it.
I think that is, yeah.
So, just keep the players coming to those if you are a player that's watching it, because it's going to be helpful for you and for us to make sure that this will be as perfect of an experience for everybody involved, which is good.
Yeah, and even I think like one level lower, like both the team captains channel, I think it's a good thing for both divisions, because as long as it's not getting spammed, like we had some good thoughts or ideas in those channels, and it helps us, and also then the players and the teams in the end.
Yeah, I think we've done a really good. I think patting ourselves on the back, we've done a good job on making sure that communication with us is as easy and open as possible. Like I've made sure, we've got our hand-picked TAs by the great A2. So I think the Team Captains channel, we've made sure that we don't, exclude the people from Division 2. We've got a Division 2 Captains channel. We've got the Division 1, obviously, Captains channel. And I think it's just really useful to make sure everyone feels involved in some sense that, we are making sure that we're not prioritizing one group of people over another. Obviously, if you're in Division 1, you get a prettier role, but that's about it. We are still making sure that the effort we put into Division 2 is just as much. That's why we're running it on a different day, so we have all these avenues open to us. It'll help us to sort of look at what works and what doesn't with the stream, experiments and things. But out of that, they also get something that they wouldn't have got otherwise, which is being streamed and potential content for them. All this, fun stuff that comes through. So we're really making sure, as like I said, we're like a focus group. So I really think we're doing a good job on making sure everyone feels included and that they are able to communicate with us when they need to.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I agree with compared to what CL had going for him. And just to echo on that statement, if you are watching this and have any kind of suggestions or concerns, hit us up with either the suggestions Google Doc, which you'll find on the information tab, is it?
Let them do it on Twitter so we get more followers,
Oh, that one? Oh, that one, there we go. It was quite embarrassing because I think if you check the GP RivalS chat and go on information, it just has a screenshot of when you're linked to the Twitter, so it only shows 2 followers. I was like, oh, that's bad, that. When you click on it, it's actually got like 30 or something, which still isn't great. I don't think I'm followed to it myself, to be honest. But no, I think I did, because I sent whoever is on
Follow Wind and Rain, follow War Rivals on Twitter.
There we go. Follow that one now.
That's the sellout I need.
I mean, it's only going to help us, though, isn't it? Because then Wind and Rain see that something's actually going ahead with that, and it's the more they see that we're giving them, the more they can give us, and then the more that we can give the players, which is obviously what you want. Bigger prize pools.
Yeah, basically, and also for the Twitch channel, when we have to reach like 50 followers or something, right?
I can't remember.
I
think it's when you get partnership, it's 75 average viewers and I think 200 followers.
All right.
I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure.
Well, yeah.
If that's looking at partnership, looking at I think something that's good is we're already looking on track to be able to apply for what's the band logo called again? Affiliation?
Probably.
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, affiliation. Yeah.
Yeah, we're already looking on course with that. So, as provided everything keeps going as it is, we're in a good spot.
Are we?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's fine. I just thought you were lagging out then, but it was okay. Apologies if there's any issues with the fucking recording, but whatever.
That'll be me and my 4G Wi-Fi.
Boys.
But there's still a long way to Discord partnership, though.
Yeah,
that's really a long way.
It's something like I can't remember, like 800 concurrent, users.
Wait, give me a second.
And something like the average has like 100,000 Twitch followers, and I'm like,
Wait, the average Discord partner has 10,000 Twitch followers, 110,000 YouTube subs,
Mm.
40,000.
Subscribe when we're getting YouTube. If you could subscribe to that as well, thanks.
Imagine having 40,000 users on the Discord and each one of them being in a team. Imagine how many fucking leagues would have to do that. Maybe that one's a little bit unrealistic for now.
Yeah.
But we'll see how things go after the trial split, and maybe we'll actually make it to season 9. Fingers crossed.
We'll extend to every possible region and pray.
Hit up the Commonwealth League. Why not? Ukraine when it gets started.
No, we do it one for Scotland, one for England, one for Wales, and then battle it out for UK.
Genius.
Oh.
Right.
Although we will need more broadcasters for that, so if you can broadcast.
Alright. So, path to affiliate, which is the one we're already looking at. 3 average viewers, well, we're already at about 35.
Boom.
And that's just from, a stream that isn't technically War Rivals. 50 followers, 7 unique days of streaming, and 8 hours of streaming in a month. Yeah. That's all looking good.
Yeah.
Whereas, path to partner is something that, an organization like CL have only just achieved, and they've been going for about 2 years in just under 2 years in EU, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we're working on that.
We're working on that. We've still got some with bronze and silver to eventually sort out, if at all, and then obviously make sure Division 1 and 2 are working for GP. So, long way to go to make sure that everything's working okay for now. But things have been going really well for what I expected when you said, do you fancy being the head caster for this random league that I'm sorting out? I'm like, I mean, yeah, okay, well, I have zero faith in you, Kwee, but okay. And then I joined and it was actually all right. I mean, I don't know. You know, quickly lasted all of 1 week, and then and then you gave up on that. So I just thought maybe this was going to go down the same road. A little bit of BM there.
Quickly was interesting. Quickly was something I did relatively consistently in, I think, winter split, and then spring split. They were like, bring it back. Like 4 people like bring it back. No one else really cared. And then I started there, and I just got bored. So I had stopped watching their games by that point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many times you can watch preteens get curb stomped and be interested. Do you know what I mean?
Although this was when Gru memes was at its height, and I think I made a pretty decent one. So that came out of it. That's it. It was the Slimeros banning Anivia. It was like ban Anivia against Buttermilk Bjork. Realize Bjork's the ADC.
That's quite good. That's quite good.
I was quite proud of that.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
Every...
This is all I'm good for, apparently. Making trash tier memes.
There's a point where it gets so trash tier that it actually becomes good again, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, ironically funny.
God, Gru memes were the only ones I could like properly get behind. I thought they were brilliant. Oh well.
Right, so luckily, I have figured out how to work out the timing for OBS, so I do know how long we've been recording. 28 minutes and 11 seconds, sorted. So I think for the first one, we can look to wrap it up relatively quickly, because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, as long as you guys attend the player union meetings, we'll keep you up to track with that. A lot of it is just kind of making sure you guys are aware of how you can get your voices heard, so we can make this the best quality content, or best quality league that we can in general for you. So, any last minute things that you want to say, Impress or Kwee?
I'll go first. Yeah, basically echoing what Droga said. We didn't talk too much about like stuff in here, but first things first, please read the rule set. Me and Satri have put in so much work into the Discord rules and the rule set to make sure that like as many questions as possible are answered in it. And if not, then you can, shoot a help desk message. And if something's not answered there, or you have a query more, apt for like a admin meeting sort of thing, nudge nudge, player union meetings. We're going to be trying to run them. We're going to be trying to run them every Saturday, then follow it up with an admin meeting, so we can talk about the player union meeting there, as well as other stuff. And it keeps going in this cycle where we're getting new input from you, we're processing it, talking about it, running it back, and then that's just going to keep going, and that's where sort of the efficiency part comes into it. So, the more we can get from that, if you have any, relatively large suggestions, throw it in suggestions or go to those meetings. Those are really good places for us to hear from you and try and implement it as soon as, not implement it, but, discuss it from an admin standpoint as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, just to echo on the rule set thing, it's that easy, it's that well laid out, not to, blow smoke up Kwee's arse a little bit, but you can just open it up. It's so easily you can just think, right, I don't care about that first bit, don't care about the second bit, I'm going to go skim read that third bit and maybe read the fifth bit. But that's all you'll need to know, because you don't need to know about, I don't know, what happens if an academy team gets promoted and the main team gets demoted. Can the academy team... If that bit don't interest you, go read a different bit. It's nicely headed out. So make sure you at least open it. And if you find that it's too hard to read, then you can complain to me about that. But it's actually quite good. Impress. Anything you want to just close off on before we end this first one?
Not much, though. I'm really looking forward to it. And obviously, we, from the admin side of things, will make mistakes. And I hope you guys are forgiving. And, read the rule set, obviously. Please read it. And then... don't ping head admins if you have a question regarding how many subs a team can have or whatever.
It's in the rule set, by the way.
Yeah. Other than that, I want to see trash talk and banter, but keep it clean, and that's all.
Yeah, no punching below the belt.
Yeah, but let's make it a good one.
Yeah, I mean, if only the people of RivalS could be clever with their insults rather than just throwing in an F word or a C word or some kind of racial slur.
By the way, speaking of insults, I wanna, if there's like a really creative and well thought insult, I really appreciate it. If it's like a good banter, then you're my MVP of the day.
See, stuff like that though, we can actually put on the stream. Like I don't know if you guys are aware of it. I've put it on the main thing. We've got a pre-game show, a post-game show. Stuff like really creative insults and quality trash talk is stuff that we can use as content. You saying that, this guy's a Scion tank player, whatever, walked on. It's not original. Do something fucking good, and then we'll be able to use it on stream, and it'll be fun. So I'll echo that statement. But anyway, it's been long enough. Thank you guys for watching. Kwee's got a really cheeky grin on his face for some reason whatsoever. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you do have any questions or any concerns, do make sure to raise it with us either in PMs or, as we said, on the Twitter or suggestions thing that we've got on the information tab. Other than that, the classic cheesy YouTube shit I don't care about, like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to. I'm just going to post it in content every time we make a new one. But
just ping everyone.
Yeah, at head admins, at community assistants, all the rest of it. Just make sure you don't tag me. Just don't tag me, please. And we'll be sorted. Big thank yous to Kwee and Impress for coming on for this first episode of the RivalS version of Let It Rip. I've been your host, xDriger, and this has been Let It Rip Podcast. Over and out. Peace.